Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm going to do something completely different today. I feel a little artsy craftsy today. So I thought I would make my own beeswax wraps. I've been using them for a couple years now. I'm trying to be more environmentally friendly when it comes to packaging and waste and that sort of thing. So like for instance, instead of paper towels, I'm using like the bamboo sheets for cleaning up. They can just be thrown in the wash and reused over and over again instead of using paper towels all the time. And a couple of years ago, I started using beeswax wraps. You can just cover up, just use a candle here for instance, just cover up a jar of food with these beeswax wraps, or if I have leftover meals or vegetables. I would not suggest using beeswax wraps for raw meat. That's the only thing you shouldn't be using it for, but wrapping up cheese, veggies, etc., etc. So this is, they come in various sizes. I think I got this off Etsy. Some of them I did find in HomeSense, but they are expensive. Even though you can reuse them over and over again, they say that they last about 6 to 12 months. You wash them in cold water and soap so you don't break down the beeswax. And then they said you can compost them after they're done, or you can reuse them by adding more beeswax to them. So they come in sheets like this. This one I haven't used yet. But what you do is I usually scrunch it up just to, you can see it sticking to itself, just to kind of warm it up with your hands. And we'll just pretend this candle's some food. And then you just put it on and then you just press it and it sticks like so. So they come in many, many different sizes. They come in smaller sizes, much bigger sizes. If I have a big casserole pot, I got the big ones to cover that. And yeah, I just wash it after with cold water and some soap. Now, these ones here, they've kind of lost their stickiness. I've had these for about a year. They've, like this one, for example, I mean, it's a simple piece of cotton, but yeah, it's just kind of lost its stickiness. So I'm going to add some more beeswax to this one, and I have to kind of revive all of these ones. So yeah, you can either throw them in the compost when you're done, or I'm just going to add some more beeswax. So because they're expensive, I decided I would make my own because I have tons of fabric. I make my own nursing uniforms, I make my own masks, scrub hats, pajama bottoms, so I got lots of material. And then I've been looking online for some recipes. So a lot of people just use beeswax for these wraps. So I did get these beeswax beads. Now you can get actually a chunk of beeswax and grate it, which I thought was a lot of work, or you can get these little beads. So this one I got from a Canadian company located in Mississauga, Ontario. It's called Directions Aromatics, and I'll put the name in the description there. But this is probably the cheapest one that I was able to find online. And so it arrived quite quickly. This is 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram. And you can get yellow wax or you can get white wax. I thought I'd get the white wax because it won't add any color to whatever I'm doing. So a lot of recipes just call for beeswax, and that's it. A lot of recipes call for pine resin to make them stickier and some jojoba oil, which makes them more pliable. So I was able to find from, this is a Montreal company, Pinot Village, some food grade pine resin. So this is supposed to make the wax even stickier. So they just come in these little kind of a powdery granule form. Now I don't have jojoba oil. I'm hoping to get some, which will make them more pliable. There was they say jojoba oil's the best. Some said it's coconut oil, but people said jojoba oil's the best. So I'm just going to wait for some of that. All right, so what I'll do is I did get a piece of fabric that I had left over from making masks. I really love the pattern on here. I do have pinking scissors, like a pinking shears for the edges, but I can't find them right now. They're somewhere, but eventually I'm going to, you know, take some pinking shears to this. And so I'm going to sort of set up the camera differently and show you how I'm going to make my beeswax wraps. There's two methods. You can either throw this in the oven at a low temperature or do an iron. I'm going to do the iron bit. So yeah, this is my first time doing it. I might have to add a little bit pine resin. Some people say equal amounts of beeswax and pine resins, but most of them say not quite as much pine resin. So it's going to be trial and error, but anyway, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so hopefully that'll stay. So I have a baking sheet. So like I said, you can do this in the oven if you want. Just cover your material with beeswax and the resin, jojoba oil, and put it in the oven. But I'm going to do the ironing method, but I just put the baking pan here just to protect the countertop. So I got a piece of parchment paper, and then I have my material. Then what I'm going to do is take the beeswax pellets and put it over uniformly. So again, this is my first time doing this. So I may put on too much or too little. I'll try to get at the edges though, but by ironing it, it kind of spreads the beeswax out. So yeah, it's going to be a little trial and error, but that's okay. Maybe just a little bit more. And then I'm going to take the pine resin, and then I'm going to not put quite as much pine resin on. I'm going to kind of maybe concentrate it too on the edges there, because I don't need a lot of stickiness right in the middle. And then if you did have jojoba oil, you put some on also. All right, and then cover this up again. And then put the iron on. I put it on high on cotton. And you can see it starting to melt there. Okay, so I just jumped ahead here. So this is pretty well done. As the beads melt, they kind of go into the corners here. But yeah, most of the dark areas, that means it's kind of melted. And I'm just trying to flatten it out, make it as uniform as possible. Okay, and remove the top sheet. And it does dry very quickly, they say. Oops. And you can just lay it on a surface to dry, or you can just wave it in the air. And you can see some on the edges there. Once that dries, I'll just kind of knock it off. And then just kind of wave it in the air to dry off, which it does quite quickly. Okay, so it's dried off, and that's what it looks like. I do have to take the pinking shears, though, to clean up some of these sides. So I gotta round up those pinking shears. But yeah, it looks pretty good. There is some spots. They don't look so obvious now where there's probably a little too much beeswax on there and it's kind of cracking in an area. So maybe I just used a little too much beeswax. But again, this is my first one, so I'll just have to kind of use trial and error to see how much I should be using. But yeah, it's actually, even without the jojoba oil, it is pretty pliable still. So maybe I don't really need the jojoba oil. But yeah, that works pretty good. So I'll just maybe put it on my candle here, completely cover up. Yeah, well, it's sticking well. So yeah, it turned out really good. It's sticking quite well. So yeah, success. So yes, another new hobby for me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Oh yeah, so you can see I'm going to have to take the iron again and redo that spot. It's just kind of the beeswax kind of caked up on there. So yeah, I'll just have to fiddle with this recipe a little bit more. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Fun little hobby anyhow. And everyone take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.